Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on OneIndia. The AAIB report on the crash, the June 12 crash of Air India aircraft, which was headed to London Gatwick, has reignited a debate over the aviation safety and accountability back in India. While initial narrative appears to blame the Indian pilots or the airline management, the questions are being raised about the aircraft's design integrity and mechanical systems. This is something that not many are pointing fingers at. It appears that with Boeing's troubled safety history, it won't be looking at and won't want to have one more bad name added to its already checkered past. As the investigations unfold, also, it is critical to examine whether the Indian carriers are being unfairly targeted in a complex global aviation matrix. So, who else better than Faizan Mirza, a global aviation expert, joining us all the way from Texas in United States. So, Mr. Mirza has also worked on the 787 avionics system in Boeing. Mr. Mirza, thank you so much for taking time out for OneIndia.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Sir, in our last interaction at the very outset, you had ruled out any possible pilot error in this June 12 Air India crash. Given your experience with Boeing and other subsidiary companies there working at the 787 avionics also, what technical red flags could you point to mechanical or design faults in this particular crash on June 12, and whether pointing finger at a pilot error, is that the wisest thing to do as of now?
I still want to stand by what I said earlier, that it's too early to point any finger at the pilot. You point finger at the pilot when you have a very clear evidence that the pilot made an error, right? After the accident itself, the pilot raised the media call. The pilot was in control of an aircraft. The aircraft was not nose diving. The aircraft was not doing anything which is not supposed to do, right? So I strongly will stand behind that. It is really easy to blame the dead man, given very high stakes. I'm talking about billions of dollars of stakes involved, and someone who is an individual, it's really easy to blame them. So I will stand by that. Now, coming to your question about mechanical and design flaw, the preliminary report is not sufficient to point, or it is not sufficiently pointing towards any mechanical and design flaw, but there could be one. There could be a design flaw in the aircraft electrical system, right? There could be a flaw in the TQM, the thrust quadrant module, the fuel pumps, right? I mean, the electrical system is working fine, FedEx is working fine. What about the fuel pumps? What about the fuel pumps failing? What about electrical system failing, the massive failure of electrical system, which might have led to both the fuel pumps stopping at the same time? So I think we are still far from pointing a finger at any of this. This is subject to intense engineering and technical investigation before we go there.
Right, Mr. Faizan, you are right, because the moment this AAIB report came in, which has left a lot of things to the imagination also of the media houses, the guesswork done by general public also, there were so many clarification videos also that many aviation experts and trainee pilots and experienced pilots shared, that cutting off a fuel supply to the engines is not a simple task, that you can't just flip your hand and it goes through like that. It takes some time, it takes a conscious move to make such a decision. So adding to that is the two-sentence audio recording that has come out between the conversation between the two pilots. How do you look at this AAIB report as of now? Is this the way the report has to be presented in chunks, or is it something else that is coming our way?
The air crash investigation is purely engineering and technical exercise. I've gone through this report, and if you ask my opinion, this report raised questions than give answers.
Okay.
To me, it looks more like a bureaucratic exercise. Sometimes an air crash becomes a matter of prestige of a nation or a large corporate or people, right? So as far as this AIB report is concerned, this raised more question than give answers. And, and what they have done is they have not pointed towards anything. And instead of giving detailed conversation of the CVR, it records around 24 to 25 hours of conversation. They just give 2 lines, right? And that 2 lines also certainly hints towards the pilots. It looks to me like it is an attempt to say, I'm not pointing finger at pilot, but you make out what you want to make out, right? So that is what it looks to me as of now, Mr. Pankaj.
Right. In addition to the same scenario, in the same breath, if I may add, Air India CEO Campbell Wilson now says, quoting the report, that it has not made any recommendations, though, but it has also not found any mechanical or maintenance faults that are required and that need to be carried out. So, in a way, Air India is also steering clear of the fact that the plane was okay. There is no negative or adverse finding on the maintenance of it. So, their due diligence is in place. Is that something that India can accept as far as this crash is concerned?
I will again reiterate the fact that it is too early.
Okay.
It's too early. And I think Air India, instead of just trying to wash their hand off, they have to look back at their entire safety culture. If you see last three fatal air crash in India, why they all are in Air India, right? I mean, in aerospace industry, in aviation industry, there's a saying, and the saying goes like, failure is not an option. That's the saying we had at Kennedy Space Center, Johnson Space Center in NASA, right? Another saying in aerospace industry, aviation industry is like, almost right is 100% wrong. You cannot be almost right. You're either 100% right or you're 100% wrong. So there's something called an aviation safety culture. The safety culture, I somehow feel, is missing. Even the statement given by the Air India CEO that, oh, I'm clear. I mean, it's too early to say you are clear, right? You have to come and say that, you know what, although the report has not pointed out, we will also see the detailed maintenance. We'll also see what we can improve. And we will try our best to cooperate with whatever way. We cannot just say, in 30 days preliminary investigation that, oh, I'm clear, so we are fine. We are not making any changes. I don't think that's the right attitude. Everyone has to own a responsibility. And I'll tell you why I'm making this statement. Everyone has to own a responsibility, because air crashes never happen with one isolated event.
Okay.
There are chain of events. And this chain of events goes on multiplying like a snowball effect and eventually leads to a crash. So everyone is responsible. Boeing is responsible. DGCA is responsible. Air India is responsible. Everyone is responsible. And no one can wash their hand off. I don't think so.
Right, absolutely. These air crashes, obviously, are a matter of concern and curiosity as well. Taking you to and drawing your attention to a separate incident involving Airbus 320. The crash that happened, especially when Airbus 320 had claimed that the manual intervention by the pilot would be the least. He will give command to the computers and they will do the job for the... What happened after that is for the world to see how the pilot was also blamed for it. Could you please throw some light on that? How do we look at that?
Sure, Mr. Pankaj, and good you brought that up. So as I just said, air crashes sometimes becomes a matter of prestige for a country or for large corporates. And they try to cover it up. It was the first flight of Airbus A320 fly-by-wire aircraft. And what do you mean by fly-by-wire is that now, earlier there were mechanical systems. Now aircraft is going to be controlled by the computer. The pilot has to give instruction to the computer and the computer will fly the aircraft, right?
Right.
So it was the first flight and the global media was there at the airport to watch this. There was a lot of celebration going on and there were a group of kids who were actually on board this flight. And this very first flight crashed. And it crashed in front of the entire world. And this crash means the survival of large corporates. This crash means the survival of fly-by-wire technology and Airbus A320 as an aircraft as well. So that was a risk right now. So what was the easiest solution? Blame the pilot. So the pilot, Captain Michel Esselin, he was blamed. He kept on telling that I gave right instruction and the computer overruled my instruction. But he was blamed. He was imprisoned. He was actually jailed. So that's why I always say in every air crashes, I'm asked to comment on pilot should be the last person to blame because his life is on the line.
Absolutely.
It should always be the last person to blame.
Absolutely. He is pretty much part of the whole cabin crew that you have in the plane. And given the circumstances, obviously, everyone tries their best to avert this scenario. As we speak, Mr. Mirza, there is a report that has just flashed on my phone. AI 171 crash report is out, but families still don't have the full story. This is just the headline that I am referring to from Times of India report that has just come out. They are referring to the half report that has come out. Going back again to the Boeing scenario here, Mr. Mirza, for the understanding of our viewers, it is important to note and hear it from you that what possible system failures are we looking at here, given the past Boeing models also, vis-a-vis this particular air crash in Ahmedabad. Could you please once again, I remember you sharing the possible reasons for this crash earlier as well, but just for the benefit of our viewers, if you could elaborate on the possible scenarios which are still not mentioned in the report, by the way.
Yeah, sure. As I said, a massive electrical failure could be one, right? I mean, the fuel pumps, everyone is focused on the fuel switch, but what about the fuel pumps? So the fuel pumps might have failed, right? Now, there are multiple pumps. All of these pumps cannot fail at the same time. So the finger then should be pointed to the electrical system. What if there's a massive electrical system failure, right? Which is cut off everything. So that
right after takeoff.
Right after the takeoff, of course, right? And we also see that the RAT was also deployed.
Right.
So that could be one situation. The second situation could be issue in the FedEx system. Now, what happens is this is how the system works. When the fuel cutoff switch is put to the run state, the fuel cutoff switch gives instructions to the FedEx. FedEx is an avionics system, full authority digital engine control. And then FedEx gives instruction to the fuel pumps and the valves to open the valve, run the pump, and do that. What if there was an instruction in FedEx, malfunction in FedEx system? So that could be another possibility. The third possibility could be an unauthorized system command. right? This happens in software, right? If there's a software malfunction, sometimes, if X, Y, and Z situation are met, do this, or a software glitch led to do this, right? So there might be a scenario that X, Y, and Z situation might have satisfied, and then that led to that software glitch led to the fuel system cutoff, right? So a software glitch could also be there. So these are the things which are supposed to be
multiple
investigated.
possibilities. So multiple possibilities, not just a few. That's why time and again, Mr. Mirza, it was important to speak to you as well. That this AAIB report, as of now, although not available in its full shape, but whenever it comes, it would be so many questions. As you rightly mentioned, the report as of now is raising more questions than it answers. You are in the United States. One final question. You have seen how air crashes are investigated as well across the globe, being a global aviation expert. NTSB, one name that is helping also India to look into this matter. How significant a role do you think it is going to play? That's my first part. Second part is, do you believe that it is easy to challenge companies like Boeing for a developing country like India? Should there be any discrepancy?
Let me take your first question about the NTSB, and I'll come to the Boeing question later. Right. NTSB definitely brings a wealth of expertise. Right? I mean, the other day I was comparing the expertise of AIB investigators versus NTSB investigators, and one of the leading name in NTSB among NTSB investigators is Greg Faith. So Indian investigators, although I am not challenging their capability, but the experience is something which matters, right? I mean, they have investigated 3 or 4 accidents and 100 of occurrences. Occurrences are not serious accidents where you're not investigating the technicalities of the aircraft systems and all that. So, whereas if you say Greg Faith has investigated hundreds of international air accidents.
Right.
So, and plus they bring amazing set of resources as well. In fact, even in this investigation, when AIB was not able to download data, they had to get it from. They have to get exactly. They have to get it from NTSB. So I'm happy that NTSB is helping AIB in this, and I assume that they are an equal party to it, and just not shielded under the bureaucratic shell. That, oh, you know what, stay out, I will let you know what I need. That should not be the case. They should be a part of the investigation, having access to every information, every single piece of data and everything. That is about NTSB joining the AIB investigation. Coming back to Boeing. Now, Boeing is a large organization, right? And current Air India CEO is known to have made the single largest purchase of Boeing aircraft ever in the history of aviation.
Okay.
So Boeing is definitely has its I'll say arms everywhere, right? And everywhere people are flying, it's either Airbus or Boeing. So yeah, at this point of time, India is a very big market, and I think India is in a position to twist Boeing's arm than otherwise, because they are one of the largest customer. Boeing would definitely not want any investigation, any accident added to the name. This is the worst nightmare they could have at this point of time, when they are already struck with their checkered past, with their safety records and their whole safety culture in the organization. This is the last thing they would like to be associated to. So,
all right, got your point there. Obviously, could be the last nail in the coffin, as many would say, for Boeing. Thank you so much, Mr. Faizan Mirza, for speaking to us and helping us understand this maze that is only growing thicker and more complex as the days go by. There is no closure as of now for the bereaved families, but no sooner than that report comes out and the truth comes out in the open is very important, not just for the closure for the families, but also to secure our future air travels as well. Thank you, sir, for speaking to One India. We look forward to speak to you again. In the meantime, One India would be getting all the other details also pertaining to this June 12th crash here on One India. Do stay tuned.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.